Hey, what's up, all Wrestling Fortune 44 viewers? I'm Owen Finch here, and I am the Wrestling Fortune Champion. This time I succeeded. And I am going to be giving you my The Best of Raw and Smackdown 2011 DVD review. Now, this DVD was good. I enjoyed this a lot. I actually am not going to lie, I enjoyed this a lot, but there are some flaws in it. I didn't enjoy this as much as the Stone Cold DVD, but there are flaws in it. I'm going to admit that there are some flaws, but it was just, I'll get to the flaws as I review this. So I'm going to review each thing, and hopefully it doesn't go over time. So the first thing, well, this is actually a match. The first match is The Miz defending the WWE Championship against John Morrison in a Falls Count Anywhere match. That was a good match. I gotta give WWE a round of applause. That was just a great way. That was actually the first match of 2011. That was just a great match. It first starts out with Morrison's coming down to the Miz. Miz and Riley go to attack him. Morrison arm drags Alex Riley onto the concrete floor, but it's like the steel part of it. And they're still brawling. Then Morrison goes right up on the W. There's like a W on the stage. I can't really describe it, but it's like right on the W. It's like a stand. And he jumps on both Riley and Miz. And he tries to pin him. He fails. They get back to the ring. They wrestle around a little bit. Then Alex Riley breaks up a pinfall on Morrison. Morrison takes out Riley. He puts him on like the barricade and takes him out with a great knee. Then we have Miz, and then it goes to commercial, which I kind of hate. And then Miz is then it comes back and they're like fighting around the stage area, and Miz is like using the part of the barricade, but it's like one of those old classic barricades back then. And he was like slamming Morrison on and just completely destroying him with it. Then they cut back, and then Miz hits Morrison with some kind of trash can or something. That Miz is dominating the match, and then Morrison makes a comeback. He hits the Starship Pain. Miz kicks out, and then Morrison tries to set up a table, and Morrison goes for the Starship Pain. He misses. Morrison goes through the table, well, because Miz was on the table. Then Miz tries to pin, kicks out. Miz hits the Skull Crusher finale and wins the match. So that match is actually pretty good. It was a great match, and it was a great way to start off this DVD right here. So the next match is Dolph Ziggler defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kofi Kingston. This match was actually a pretty good match as well. Great fast-paced action. These guys work so well together. But I am going to dwell on a negative. Is that these guys that even before now were in the win so often. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, before Money in the Bank. Well, actually, it was Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler to qualify for that top battle royal that Sheamus wanted to face John Cena. The breakthrough battle royal. Then it was Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler before Money in the Bank. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler again. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler wins and gets an IC title Intercontinental Championship match. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. SummerSlam, Intercontinental Championship. Smackdown again. And then there was just so many Smackdowns, and they took a break. Then it was tag team matches. They cut the feud off at Night of Champions. Then they cut it back on, and then it just got so fucked up. But this match wasn't that was probably that was probably why I didn't really enjoy this match that much. And then Dolph Ziggler would always kind of bury Kofi. He would just continue to bury him. But then the match would end when Kofi Kingston does a crossbody to Dolph Ziggler and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. But the match was fine. I'm just dwelling on the negative. Then Dolph Ziggler, as Kofi is celebrating, Dolph Ziggler attacks Kofi Kingston, hits the zigzag. Vicky now just offers invoking his rematch clause. He does. The match was probably like 5 seconds long. Kofi Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise and then wins the match and retains the championship. So yeah, I wasn't expecting Kofi to win the second time at the time I watched it, but I wasn't expecting Dolph or the first time. So let's get on with the next match. We have Rey Mysterio versus Alberto Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls match. It doesn't show Del Rio's music come out, and I don't think it showed Dolph Ziggler's either. This match was an okay match, but for a 2 out of 3 falls match, it felt like it was too quick. They sped it up too quick. I wonder if it was because they were running out of time, or is they just did stuff too fast. The first fall happens when Del Rio gets the armbar on Rey Mysterio. He ends up tapping out. Then they have an okay. Then they and it was like probably like not even 5 minutes into the match either. Then Rey Mysterio, Del Rio goes for the armbar again. Rey Mysterio counters into a pin. 1, 2, 3. Mysterio pins him. And we have then they actually have a pretty good match going, but then Mysterio takes out both of them with double Cena sentons. No, with a double cross body. Mysterio goes to back in the ring, and this was just so fucking stupid. This was fucking stupid. This was fucking shit. Del Rio's in the ring. Mysterio's trying to come back in the ring. Mikado's holding his leg, but the referee doesn't even realize it's happened. It's like he was drowning. It was exactly like that. He was like, Mysterio's going like this, like he's swimming in it, like he's fucking drowning. And then Del Rio ends up winning the match, and it was like Rey Mysterio was just fucking drowning in fucking water. What were they playing? What were they doing? Playing Marco Polo or something? He was fucking drowning in the water? What the fuck? So that was a negative. Then he ends up beating out Mikado, and people thought, my dad's girlfriend Chris, like, isn't that a heel turn? And no, it isn't a heel turn, because he attacked a person that cost him the match, and he attacked Ricardo Rodriguez, who was a heel. So in WWE's mind, that is not a heel turn unless you attack a face. Unless it's a double turn. But it wasn't a heel turn, though. I guess you should, actually, before I show you the DVD, the artwork, because the artwork is pretty cool. Some of the, see, the third disc is falling out, so I'll show you the third disc in a second. I'm just going to show you it, because for some reason one of the tabs broke. And I'll show you the back, too. I didn't show you the back. And I'm going to show you this part as well. Forgot to show you this. I always forget something, but at least I remembered to. So let me just get on with the other match now. Now we have Natalya defending the Women's Champion... sorry, my bad. Botch. The Divas Championship against Melina. That was actually a pretty good match. That wasn't a bad match. I don't really remember it, though. But I remember that it wasn't a bad match. Because these divas can actually fucking wrestle. These divas can actually fucking wrestle. They don't this was around the time, though, when they did treat them as, like, fucking whores who fucking go on and fucking put on bras just to show their tits. But this was now after that, and Natalya and Melina worked actually not a bad match. But I like the ending though. Natalya has like a sharpshooter on, and the way Melina, I think because Melina's so flexible, she was like tortured, and her legs were like going up to her head, so then she ended up tapping out, which wasn't that bad. So that's really about it. Then we have The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. I don't think it shows Daniel Bryan, The Miz's entrance. This match was pretty good too. We have Miz doing a knee. We have Daniel Bryan doing the flying knee to Miz outside the ring. We have Daniel Bryan doing a German suplex. Miz doing that little backbreaker to a neckbreaker thing, big boot. Then Bryan would go for some. I think Bryan went for something and got hung up on the ropes. And Alex Riley and Michael Cole actually made this match what it was as well. And then he hits the Skull Crusher, and then Miz hits the Skull Crusher finale on Daniel Bryan. 1, 2, 3, wins the match. So that wasn't that bad. Then we have a great thing, a great promo. The Rock returns to Raw. It's a great. No one expected it. No one expected The Rock to come back after, you think it was 7 years. The Rock had not been in a WWE win. And I don't count the times he was on the VA satellite, because he wasn't actually in the ring cutting a promo. The Rock was in the ring, though. The Rock was actually in a WWE ring. And he probably had some goosebumps, though, you know what I'm saying? Because he hadn't done this probably in, what, 8 years? Been in a WWE win for 8 years. That's a long time. But he did say that he wants to thank his fans for being with him. He wants to thank his fans for always believing in him. And that he's hosting WrestleMania. It's going to be the greatest WrestleMania ever. Then as he's talking, and he's making jokes on the way, the computer goes off. The Raw general manager computer goes off. Michael Cole goes to you and he's like, no. This is the Rock's moment, Michael Cole. And general manager's not going to interrupt it. And he's like, and then he calls him like a name. I don't remember what the name was. And he's like, what do you think of that? And he's like, well, I'll tell you what I think. It doesn't matter what you think. And then he makes him sit down in the announce table, and he kind of goes silent. And Josh Matthews is laughing, and I wonder if he's really laughing or it's just scripted. But I was laughing myself. Then The Rock says, so there's somebody else that I will see at WrestleMania. Because he said he'll see The Miz. And he said, so we go from the pie eating, limousine riding or something like that. The Brahma Bull, The Rock, to the great Stone Cold Steve, or it was probably the other way around. To, you can't see me. You can't see me. What are you playing, peekaboo? You can't see me. I can see you. You can't see me. Oh, a monkey, a little boy up the monkey ass or something like that. I don't really remember the exact quote, but I know what it is. Could see you. Then he's insulting how he's a fruity pebble because he keeps changing his shirts. But so then he'll say that he'll see him at WrestleMania and the promo ends. It was just hilarious. I really enjoyed that. When The Rock came back, nobody expected it. It was just hilarious. And after this happens, it actually shows John Cena the next week. Like they show after he shows the replay, and he's like, "Should I respond to this? I don't want to start something." Then he responds, and he's like, and he raps, and he does the great rap. He's like, "I'm like a pinwheel lock, so go. I'm like a pin." He's like, "Go ahead and blow me." So he does rap. I don't remember the exact rap, but he does rap. Then it ends. I don't remember the exact rap though. That's the problem. But he does rap, so that was good. This was terrible. This was terrible. The championship coronation of Dolph Ziggler. I don't know what to say to this. The championship coronation of Dolph Ziggler. They count this as a World Heavyweight Championship reign. I didn't actually think this was going to happen. He comes out. They're celebrating. They introduce him. He says, "This is mine forever." And Teddy Long comes back. And he had been attacked by an unknown suspect at the time in his office. And then he realizes that Vicky was the first one on the scene. She's trying to deny it. He keeps telling her to shut up. She said it was Dolph. It was all his idea. And Dolph gets angry, and she tells him that he can't hide this anymore. And then he says that Dolph would defend the World Heavyweight Championship against right now. And he's like, "You had the power to fire people, but now I have the power to rehire people." And he rehires Ed. Vicky fired earlier in the night. They have a match, and the match was shit. The match was complete fucking shit. The reason why is because that's how we have to look at Dolph Ziggler's first World Heavyweight Championship. I don't even like counting that, but it counts, unfortunately. I don't know why people are counting this, but I don't know. Edge does his comeback. He misses the spear. Dolph Ziggler just dominates him. Goes for the zigzag. Edge holds the ropes. Ducks on a clothesline. Spear. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck? Teddy Long comes out and fires him and completely fucking buries Dolph Ziggler. and for someone that could have been a great main eventer at that time, just completely got fucking buried. Why? Dolph Ziggler's a great talent. If they do this again, only have him hold the world title, I'm fucking done with WWE. I'm just saying that right now. Make him at least succeed cashing in Money in the Bank. Don't make him lose the Money in the Bank. Please don't. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. Let's get on with the next match. This wasn't... No, actually, this isn't a match. We have a Stone Cold... Oh, I just gave it away. But yeah, we have Michael Cole in the win. He is saying that he's going to choose his referee for his match with Jerry the King Lawler at WrestleMania. He teases that it's going to be Stone Cold, but because he mentions that he's a former legend, WWE champion, he's a Texan, but then he says... And then he says, let's hear it. Austin. He's like, aha, I suckered you in. My referee is not Austin. It's JBL. And JBL comes out and he's like, before I mentioned, he says, whoever signs these papers will be the guest referee at my match at WrestleMania. And JBL comes out and he's so happy to be back, and he says he's happy that he's in the main event of WrestleMania, and that he's sticking up to for himself for the bully Jerry the King Lawler, and then he says more things. I kind of forget it. Then he goes to sign the contract. Austin comes out. He stuns JBL, and then he's celebrating. He's like, and then he sees the contract. He's like, if you want me to sign this contract, give me a hell yeah. Then of course the fans go hell yeah, and he signs the contract. And Michael Cole, as he's doing this was also what made it funny. They go, Steve, Joe, this was supposed to be my night, and then he signs the contract, and then he says, and the referee for the match at WrestleMania is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he comes and dumps beer on Michael Cole and has a celebration. It was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. I loved it. I loved it because it made sense. You have Stone Cold. Well, it makes sense, but I think they wanted Austin there. We had Austin there because that WrestleMania was stacked. I'm going to say that. We had The Rock there. We had Austin there. We had Snooki there, but that didn't really... That was terrible, but that was just great. Then we have Christian versus Alberto Del Rio in a steel cage match. This match wasn't bad. Del Rio actually carried himself in this match for the first time in a steel cage. He used the steel cage well as a weapon. Then we had Christian, who was a veteran at this cage. He actually had a veteran. He was torturing Christian in the cage. Then Christian wanted revenge against Del Rio. He hits the kill switch at some point in this match. Then he's going up because Del Rio had tried to use him. Christian traps Del Rio's hand in the cage, gets out of the cage, wins the match. Then it kind of cuts out after that. More stuff happens, but it just cuts out after that because I think they just wanted to show the match. So that was really it. That's really all I have to say. I liked it, just not that special. This was okay. We have Kofi Kingston defending the Intercontinental Championship against Wade Barrett. This was at the time when Wade Barrett had his core and they were at ringside. This match was an okay TV match. I'm going to say that right now. But it wasn't a match that I go sit down and watch again. But this match was okay. I understand why they put this on the DVD, because they wanted to show Wade Barrett's first ever championship win. What ended up happening is Kofi Kingston went for the Trouble in Paradise and hit Heath Slater because he had gotten on the apron with Trouble in Paradise. Went to hit Trouble in Paradise on Wade Barrett, got caught. Wade Barrett hit the Wasteland, pinned him, 1, 2, 3, won the Intercontinental Championship, and then they don't say who won yet. Gabriel does a 450 splash to Kofi, then they say that he won, and then Wade Barrett wins the first championship. So that actually wasn't that bad. I think the core was pretty dominant. I think they should have kept it going. I don't know why they didn't, because maybe they didn't want another things, but ever since then, no one really has shined, except for Wade Barrett, and he probably would be like a former world champion by now if he didn't injure himself. Well, he didn't injure himself, but I'm just saying if he didn't get injured. Then we have Streak in Jeopardy. I love this. I absolutely love this. They had to get Taker on this DVD, and it was a good thing they did. So first Taker comes out, and then Triple H comes out. Shades of what happened in the returns when Taker returned and Triple H then interrupted. They're looking at each other. Then we have Shawn Michaels. He's like, "I'm sorry to ruin the moment, guys, but I just could not miss this." Then what ended up happening was he says Triple H and The Undertaker. Who will win? He's wondering who's going to win. He pretty much just kind of calls it down the middle. And he kind of mentions their accolades. Then Triple H is like, many years, I don't know how many years, I don't remember the number. I was in this business. I saw a lot of guys in the back. And he said me and Shawn made a pact and stuff. That if one of us couldn't do it anymore, the other would say so or something. Yeah, the other would say so. Then he's pretty much saying that since Shawn couldn't do it, that Triple H would have to say something and carry the load and go where the other hasn't gone before. And he says that he respects the hell out of The Undertaker for going out and dedicating and sacrificing his body to the business. He said that he's going to end the streak at WrestleMania. Because he needs to. Then Taker says, "You know what happened the last 2 times at WrestleMania? Someone said it was going to end the streak. Ask him." Because he brings up the fact that Shawn gave him the greatest 2 matches of his WrestleMania career. And I agree with that. I am one of them. I thought 25 was great. But then he says that you're gonna be like all the others. You're not gonna win at WrestleMania. And he says that he respects the hell also out of Triple H. Then Shawn he pretty much says he pretty much thrashes Shawn. Then Shawn goes for the sweet chin music. Taker blocks it. Goes for the choke slam. Triple H gets in front of him, and Triple H is like, "Shawn, tell him why I'm going to beat him at WrestleMania." And he's like, "Shawn, tell him." Because then Shawn wouldn't say anything. He gets out of the ring, and he's like, "You can't do it. I don't think you could do it." Then Taker leaves, his music hits, and Triple H is in the ring, and then that was pretty much it. But that was a great promo, great way, because that was actually the Raw leading off of WrestleMania. It was a great way to lead. Well, it wasn't the main thing, but it was a great way to leave off Taker and Triple H. Probably, I think the build-up this year was better, but I don't think the build-up last year maybe would have been better if that happened maybe earlier. I'm just saying that right now. Then we have, this is now disc 2. That was disc 1, this is now disc 2. Edge says goodbye. Now, this is probably going to make me cry. Because this was very emotional. You see, for those of you that don't know, Edge had to retire because he broke his neck. And they caught something, and I guess it was like still broken, and if he had continued to wrestle, he would have been in a wheelchair. Then WWE luckily they did catch it. WWE caught it, and he has to retire, and he retired as a world champion too. But Edge was just a great loss, and when he came out and made his speech, he made so many thank yous. He's really opened his eyes, and he's like he's gonna miss all this. Then he wanted to go down to his entrance one more time because he thought it was the coolest music in the world. And that he really loved coming down the edge because he feels like he always felt like an emotion, adrenaline when he came down. So he went down one more time. He did it again. And then he's like, he thanks his mom because she was the reason got him through all the neck injuries and she supported him all his career. Then he says that he has to come out here and do what he has to do, relinquish the World Heavyweight Championship. Excuse me. And he says, it's not easy, but I gotta do it, man. Because he's like, hey, it's okay. Gotta do it, man. Then, he says that, I know it's gonna get a little corny, and he's like, even though it already has. That was funny. This title never really has been mine, and it never really has been. Each of you hold a piece of this, and he thanks them all for keeping it, and then he puts the title down and leaves, and he did come back later and say another few words. It's so sad. It's not seeing Edge anymore. Edge was probably he wasn't one of my. I never really had like a favorite list at the time. It was just 4, but Edge was like one of the all-time greats. He was a guy that could win titles, and that could probably still be around today. And I think there was a lot that he could still do for the business. And the Edge would still be there today if it wasn't for this. So it's sad to think. But it's true. So I want you to think about that. If for those of you that say your job is hard, imagine doing something you love and can't do it anymore. Because you don't know what you have until you lose it all. And that's exactly what happened to Edge. He lost it all, but he wasn't mad about it though, because then he would have ended up probably killing himself in a ladder match with Del Rio on Extreme Rules. And then he was and if he didn't, maybe he would have been dead. You don't know. It's good thing they did catch it. It's just like you don't realize what you have until you lose it. That's what I'm saying. So let me get on with the next thing. I think I covered that enough. We have a new side of R-Truth. This was pretty much his heel turn. A week later, his explanation on why he attacked John Morrison. And he actually had a pretty good explanation. He said that he has done everything for them. Because he had to give up his spot in the WWE Championship match. Because you all wanted me to. And this was kind of funny. This is kind of when Little Jimmy debuts. Because he's like, oh, look at Little Jimmy dancing to R-Truth. And then as he's talking, people are going, what? And he's like, don't want me! And he's like, you're all pissing me the hell off. You're going to knock it off with that what? So that was hilarious. That's kind of when what was back to the birth. And then he also insults the fans. And actually, I should mention, when he does come out, he goes, whatever, I don't remember what state they were in at that night. And he goes, shut up, instead of what's up. And then people thought his new theme was going to be shut up, but no, and then he had no music after that. But the promo he made was just great. I want you guys to go watch that promo, because that was hilarious. The shit he did. When he's like, shut up, oh, actually, no, he's like, shut up, he says Little Jimmy, he insults the fan, because when he's like, I ain't going to come out here and dance anymore, and should I know, a lot of you are out of tune, and a lot of you got no rhythm. So he completely trashes him. It was just hilarious. Then we had, so let me get on to the next one. We have John Cena defending the WWE Championship against The Miz. This was Miz's rematch clause after he had lost the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules. This match I think was better than the match they had on Monday. This match was great. We had Miz, and Cena. They just went toe-to-toe, completely. Miz would get boots in there. He did the neck breaker, back breaker into the neck breaker. John Cena did his comeback, of course. Did the STF. Miz would get to the ropes. At a point in the match, Cena hit in the FU. Miz kicked out. Another point, Riley came in with the briefcase, and Miz would hit the Skull Crush finale. Cena kicked out of that. Then eventually, Miz would grab the belt, hit it off the skull of John Cena, and then would win the match because Alex Riley distracted the ref. And then the referee caught him because Alex Riley raised the hand that he held the WWE Championship behind the back. The referee reversed the decision. Miz was arguing with Riley. Cena clotheslined both of them and FU'd both of them, and then would celebrate with the WWE Championship. So that match wasn't bad. It wasn't okay. It wasn't an okay match. I'm gonna say it was a great match. Actually, it was a match that I can probably watch again. I wouldn't mind watching that match again. Let me get on with the next match. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Christian defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. You have a guy bust his ass off in this business. He does everything for you. He does TLC matches, cage matches, ladder matches. He busted his ass off for 17 years. And you built him up to win the World Heavyweight Championship into a main eventer. Extreme Rules comes. He finally wins the belt. He's celebrating with the fans. Then Teddy Long makes him, and then they make him defend the title 5 days later against Randy Orton. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the match was bad. The match was great. There were good spots in this match. But I'm going to get to the part of the match that was awful. They're in the corner. Christian kicks Orton in the ribs. Goes for, I think, a sunset flip. RKO. 1, 2, 3. 5-day reign for Christian. New world champion fucking Randy Orton. Why? Why do you only give Christian a 5-day reign? I know it's month past this, but why? This was one of the negatives of 2011. Of this DVD right here. When I watched this again, I can't believe I actually... Like, the match was good. Like, the match was great. A good Smackdown main event match. But then Randy Orton beats Christian for the world title. And then Christian leaves sad. Well, he doesn't show it, but I know it happens. And how could you feel bad for the guy? How could you not feel bad for the guy? He turns heel. How could you be a heel? Because you got people cheering on him. Because Randy Orton fucked him over. Not just Randy Orton. We got Vince too. Because he only gave him a 5-day reign. What the fuck? Even when... I'm surprised he didn't leave after that. He left... Because he... Weren't you afraid that he would have left again? Unless you gave him a big paycheck bonus not to leave, then I might understand. But Christian would have been a great champion as a face. As a face. But you didn't give it to him. You didn't give him the chance. You didn't care. Everybody else cared. But WWE didn't care. Let me get on to the next match. Actually, this is actually a promo. It's called Riley's Revenge. What if they have a movie called that? Tell me if they have a movie called Riley's Revenge, because it sounds like that could be a movie. But we have Alex Riley. Because Miz was upset that he lost the I Quit match because Alex Riley... I guess he blamed him. I don't really know why, because he wasn't the one. Yeah. But he asked the Joe manager for another title match. With Alex Riley banned from ringside. The general manager says, no, you are done with John Cena and the WWE Championship. So then he blames Alex Riley, and Alex Riley's like, what do you have to say for yourself? No, Miz says, what do you have to say for yourself? And Alex Riley's like, Miz, it's not like I'm the one who said I quit. What? What did you just say to me? Then he continues slapping him, and he's like, "I've given you chance after chance after chance. So you know what? You're fired." He's like, "Get out of my face!" And then Alex Riley just gives him a great beatdown. And then that face turn, he gives him a beatdown. He takes him over the barricade, the commentators, and it actually sounds like more of a heel turn than a face turn. I think it was supposed to be a face turn. Like, it could have been a double cross, but he goes, "After everything I did for you! After everything I did!" And then after that, he leaves the win, and, yeah, why not do that? Because he wasn't his boss anymore. So that's really it for that, because there's nothing really else to say. I would do the same thing if my boss didn't want me anymore. Next we have Randy Orton defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Sheamus with Christian as the special guest referee. This match was good. I enjoyed this match as well. We have Sheamus put Randy Orton going to go on Sheamus, and he catches him and he puts him in the turnbuckle. They have a fight outside the ring actually before that happened. Then Sheamus is dominating a little bit. Then Randy Orton does his comeback. Then Sheamus does the Irish Coast backbreaker. Then Sheamus, this was funny. Randy Orton almost gets knocked into the ref because Sheamus had counted an RKO. Sheamus knocks Christian down. And then he says, "I didn't mean it, fella." And then he blow kicks Randy Orton. Then goes to piss Sheamus. Christian's counting. And then he hurts his arm. He's like, "Are you kidding me? What the hell?" And he's like, his arm's hurt. And then Sheamus is like, and then Sheamus is arguing with Christian. Sheamus turns around, gets an RKO by Randy Orton. Orton makes the cover. Christian counts 1, 2, 3. And Randy Orton maintains the World Heavyweight Championship. And then he's celebrating. And then Christian, when he turns around, Christian hits him off the head with the belt. And this was turning him heel, and this was a great heel. I kind of saw it coming, but it wasn't the way I expected it to come. Then Christian takes off the shirt, and he goes, like an Eddie Guerrero thing, and he goes, "I can beat you, Randy! I know it!" And then that kind of signaled up the heel turn. And then he kind of leaves with the belt, and then the next week, for some odd reason, he didn't have the belt. So yeah, that was pretty much it for that. Great. That was a great match and a great way to turn Christian heel. I think that's why it was on this DVD, because Christian turned heel. Then the next we have John Cena, Randy Orton, and Alex Riley versus Christian, R-Truth, and The Miz. Now, before the match actually happens, I want to mention the fact that before that, R-Truth blaming the Little Jimmys for costing him the WWE Championship match. Christian comes out and he says, "I don't blame you, man. Christian, no, Truth, first I was cheated out of the world title by the fans, bad management, now a bad referee call." And then Truth's like, "How many shots have you had?" He's like, "It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm getting failed." The Miz comes out and he's like, "Alex, I don't really know why he was out there." He's calling them a bunch of crybabies, complaining over title matches. "I lost my match last night, and I don't really know why he was complaining." Then he's like, hey, you won in title matches last night." He's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Really?" And then, yeah, I'm just gonna he goes, "Really? Really?" Then Truth goes, "Really?" Then, Christian goes, "Really?" And then Christian goes, "Riley." And then Miz goes, "Riley? Randy!" What? "Randy? Riley." And then they're going back and forth for the Randy and the Rileys, and Jimmy. Truth goes, "Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy." Then eventually Teddy Colon comes out and makes this match right here. And it was elimination. Did I mention that it was elimination? It was elimination 6-man tag team match. This match was actually really good. A good way to main event the match. I'm not really gonna get too much into this match because there's nothing really this match was good. But I'm just gonna name the eliminations. Alex Riley was the first one eliminated. He got the Skull Crusher finale by The Miz, and Christian just pinned him. Then we have Cena eliminate Miz with the FU. Then Truth and Christian would dominate. Then eventually get the tag on Randy Orton. And then he does his comeback. Christian goes for the kill switch. Orton clotheslines him out of the ring. RKO to R-Truth. 1, 2, 3. The match was over. No, then the match was Tooth was eliminated. Then Christian comes in, spears Orton. 1, 2, 3. Match was over. Cena goes for the FU. Christian's holding onto the ropes. Christian gets out, and so he gets out of it. Orton now KOs Christian behind the referee's back. Cena hits the STFU in. Gets the STFU. Christian taps out. Then Orton and Cena celebrate, and Cena was the sole survivor. So that was pretty much it for that match. Let's get on with the next match. We have Daniel Bryan versus Cody Rhodes. This match was okay. This match wasn't really, it was a good TV match, but it wasn't really, a good match. It wasn't a match that I go back and watch. But, before this match happened, Cody Rhodes comes out, cuts a promo, saying that all you are, sick bag. He pretty much just insulted fan about the looks and stuff. Then Daniel Bryan comes out and he's like, your father wasn't the most handsome man. Then he kind of, shows a picture. And he's like, your father was, unlike you, was charismatic, entertaining, and then he says that something else, unlike you. Then the match starts, the match would end when Cody Rhodes gave him a beautiful disaster kick. Then in the crossroads, 1, 2, 3, the match was over, puts a paper bag on his head. I will mention that the commentary was funny, because Michael was like, but hey, Book, who do you pick to win this match? And then Michael Cole has because they gave Book a paper bag. Michael Cole's like, oh, I don't know, I root for all the good. I'm gonna pick Daniel Bryan because I'm Booker T and I always root for all the good guys. So that was hilarious. I won't mention that. But the next match, CM Punk speaks his mind. Wow. I have been waiting. This is probably one of my favorite things of 2011. This promo was phenomenal. Because first it shows the end of the John Cena R2 table match. Punk comes in, Cena hits the FU on Tooth, and Punk moves the table. Punk and Cena brawl. Cena goes for the FU. R2, I'm gonna call this actually, spears Cena through the table. Truth wins. Punk grabs the microphone, goes and sits on the stage in crisscross applesauce. That's what we called it in elementary school. And then CM Punk says, John Cena, as you lay there as uncomfortable as possible, I want you to listen to me. Because when I leave with your WWE Championship, I'm going to be leaving. And then he mentions that he doesn't hate you, John Cena. He hates the fact that, he hates the idea that he thinks he's the best, but you're not. I'm the best. I've been the best ever since day one. And he mentions he mentions that John Cena is a big ass kisser, and he says, John Cena, you're as big an ass kicker as Hulk Hogan was. And it's like, oh shit, this is getting real. Then he goes, I don't know if you're as big as Dwayne The Rock Johnson, though he's a pretty big ass kisser. Then he mentions that he's grabbed so many of his imaginary verses. It's imaginary. So it's pretty much admitted that it's fake, pretty much, because he's like, it's imaginary. It means nothing. It's like, I only know I'm gonna win the match, so what's the point? So that's pretty much, that was hilarious. Then he's like, Paul Heyman saw something inside of me. No one else did. Yeah, and then he goes, yeah, I'm a Paul Heyman guy, yeah. I'm just like Brock Lesnar. And he's like, and he's split just like I'm splitting. And so that was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? It's like this is so real. At the time I thought this was real. Then he goes, what does he say? I know the whole promo, I just don't remember it in order. Then he says, maybe this, you see, Vince McMahon has so many less man that, like, John Laurinaitis, he says something about John Laurinaitis, the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations. Then he says, maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon's dead. Oh wait, but then it would be run by the stupid son, doofus son and his stupid son-in-law. It's like, what? It's like, whoa, this shit's getting real. Oh, and then he says, maybe when I leave with the title, I remember what he says, I'll go defend it in New Japan Wrestling, or maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor. Then he says, hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? And through that, he's like, oh, I'm breaking the fourth wall. And he's like, and then, he says, he says, for those of you that are cheering me right now, you're a bigger part of me as leader than anybody else. Because you're the one because he's mentioning that he's upset that he's not getting, like, promoted that much. He's not getting, like, the face on the cover, the face on the beginning thing before beginning intro. He's upset by that. And he's like, for those of you that are cheering me right now, you're the one that buy those programs, drink those cups, and then you try to have me autograph them and sell it on eBay because you're too lazy to get a real job. And then, by the way, he was wearing a Stone Cold t-shirt as he's wearing this. I don't know why, because they don't like each other. Then he's like, then he says, I'm leaving with the WWE Championship on July 17th. And that's the bottom line. And then he says, let me tell you a story about Vince McMahon. And then they cut his mic off. Then he's like, and then he gets pissed and he's like, oh. So I thought that was fucking real. Okay? That promo was the most fucking realistic promo I probably ever heard in 2011 in a while. Like, that actually really got me, like, wow, what the fuck? Like, that actually earned a lot of respect from Punk, because, it was actually true what he was saying. Except maybe the part about, well, actually, pretty much all of it was true. Maybe, I actually wish maybe they actually, when he was gonna leave with the title, I thought he was gonna leave and go to TNA with it, then I was gonna start that whole TNA war, and then that didn't happen. So yeah, I gotta give him a round of applause. I gotta give WWE a round of applause for scripting something like that. Because that's what was fucking genius. Because you let Punk be himself. Maybe he wasn't reading off the script though, but maybe they like what Punk said. And make you think about it. If it wasn't for that... if it wasn't for that promo, CM Punk would not be probably what he is today. Maybe Daniel Bryan would have not been what it is today. The Rock and John Cena would have been for the WWE Championship. Maybe Zack Ryder would not even get pushed. I wish he had mentioned maybe the fact that, if he had mentioned TNA though, that would have been fucking awesome. That would have been fucking, what the fuck? That made me think it was even more realistic than it was. But yeah, I think I covered that as much as I wanted to. Let me get on with the next thing. We have Christian versus Sin Cara. This match was great. This match was good. Sin Cara always gets me into his matches. He did botch in this match a little bit, but he used to botch all the fucking time. What's the difference? He doesn't botch now, and you can totally tell. And my dad's girlfriend Chris thinks it's because of the red attire, but it doesn't matter what kind of attire you wear. He probably still wouldn't be bought. Maybe he wouldn't be botching even if it was blue. But I'm just going to say that being injured, I know it's not good to get injured, but Sin Cara, it was kind of good. Because then it gave him time to practice. But yeah, this match was actually pretty good. Sin Cara did some high-flying moves. But then he would get caught in the turnbuckle, then Christian would spear him. 1, 2, 3, the match was over. And I like to, Christian mentioned in this match, I can't wrestle with these lights. So that was funny. But that was pretty really it though. The match was actually pretty good. It's just not a lot to cover really with that match. And I just dropped the DVD again. This thing is probably scratched right now because of this tab thing. Then we have, I'm just gonna mention, Mr. McMahon's in the ring. I'm gonna name the title of this in a second. He's gonna call out John Cena so he can fire him. And he says, oh, actually, also, by the way, in Punk's promo, he mentions that the wheel will keep on turning, and then people will forget about me or something. Then John Cena comes out, and he's like, I love this. I love this. So he's mentioned how he loves this. It's like if I'm gonna get fired today, I don't. Okay, I've accomplished everything here. I've busted my ass to work here. I love doing this, and if you're not welcome here, then I'm not welcome here. It's like I thought a lot about this. Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest men in this industry, had to live with the Montreal Screwjob because like I mentioned, they tried to do it with Punk and Cena. Then he's like, had to deal with the fact that he screwed Bret everywhere he go, no matter what. It would be he screwed Bret. Then he says, I didn't want to do that, Vince. I don't handle my business that way. And then he also mentioned CM Punk. I know you're watching, and I know I'm not supposed to say your name, but that was one hell of a match, kid. Then he mentions the fact that I know you're going to find an opponent for Dwayne The Rock Johnson at WrestleMania, and I'm completely fine with that. Then he also says, and this is actually kind of true, you're probably, by the time WrestleMania 27 comes, you're going to act like I wasn't even here. It will be like I was never even here. You find an opponent, it will be like I was never even here. And I was like, whoa, that's actually probably true. Because, after SummerSlam, they acted like Chris Benoit was never even a wrestler. It was like he was never even there. It's true, because the DVDs they released, there's no Benoit in them. The last time I think they released a Chris Benoit DVD was probably, and I want to find this because that's the last DVD you'll ever get of Chris Benoit probably, the Elimination Chamber DVD. That's the last DVD of Chris Benoit. The last pay-per-view he's ever been at was probably, the last match he ever had was Judgment Day 2007. The last match I don't know the last match he ever had, but Chris Benoit, yeah, but they also are acting like that, Owen Hart was never even around, except when Bret Hart's there. They act like that, but, well, I know they still consider him, but they act like Batista was never around. They acknowledge him, but they don't even acknowledge Owen. They don't acknowledge, Bret. No, not Bret. I'm just kidding. They don't acknowledge Chris Benoit. Cause see, they don't even acknowledge guys that get released. They don't acknowledge Shelton Benjamin. They don't acknowledge MVP. They don't acknowledge AW. They're not even probably going to acknowledge AW anymore. They don't acknowledge these guys, and Cena's actually admitting the facts. And then he says, if I can't be in the WWE anymore, then I will walk into another wrestling company. Brother! TNA reference. We've seen TNA reference from fans, but I've never seen a TNA reference from a WWE superstar. That was so direct. And then he's like, and then I will keep doing what I love. So get on. So I think I've said what I need to say. Get on with it. Then Vince goes to fire him, and Triple H comes out. And ladies and gentlemen, and then he says, and Triple H is trying to get him to go in the back for this, but he won't let him. And I thought, and this is probably real. Like, you can believe this is real. He doesn't think that Vince, and I don't really get it either. The board doesn't think that you're fit to run a company anymore. And the family, maybe because the family feels the same way. Then he pretty much says that, I'm sorry, Vince, but you will be relieved of your duties, and that's what the name of this thing, Mr. McMahon relieved of his duties. It had to do what's right for and he even said you have to do what's right for business. And they made Triple H run the business. And it's true. And Vince is again, as he's saying this, how could you do this to me? It's like, understand, I didn't want to do this. I had to do what was right for the business. And it's like, look at me. He says, sorry. I love you, Pop. And that was hilarious. Then you got the realistic, and Triple H leaves. Vince McMahon saying thank you. I could clearly tell, though, this isn't realistic, though, because, he was able to fire John Laurinaitis is one thing. And then, how could the board of directors fire Vince McMahon, a guy that pretty much created this company? His father created the company, and Vince McMahon's the chairman, so I think Vince McMahon would have the power over them. I still don't get that. Clearly, so that's what kind of makes me think right here. Because Vince McMahon's fired so many people. He fired, well, technically he didn't fire Punk, but he's fired someone on TV. Let me name someone: John Laurinaitis, Mick Foley, Eric Bischoff. We think, because he hasn't done it in a while. I think he's probably fired Austin before. If he hasn't, I'm surprised. That's about it, really. Yeah, but there were so many McMahon people have fired them. It's just so weird. But that's all I can think of off the top of my head. He's probably fired. Oh, he's probably fired Shawn too. He was gonna fight John Cena. You can go play with your friends if you want, though.
Why?
I'll call you back. You can come back when I'm done.
How am I supposed to know?
I don't know. Why did you get home so late now, by the way?
It's the bus is keeping late.
Is it Donna's fault or is it just kids? Too many kids now.
What?
It's Donna's fault or is it just too many kids now?
Well, there's so many kids, and the kindergartners have to have bus buddies.
Oh.
And the bus buddies have to walk into each bus. And then, the first couple of days.
See you later.
They don't have anything organized yet. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, wait. Use your phone.
Yeah. I think it's in my room. Anyways, sorry for the interruption. I think I got my point on the Vince McMahon relieved of his duties. Now I'm going to move on to Disc 3. We have Rey Mysterio defending the WWE Championship against John Cena. In this match, I'm going to say right now that this match was actually really good. I wasn't expecting it to be that good because Rey Mysterio had just won. Because Mysterio had just wrestled The Miz and won the match. Then Miz wrestled, and then Cena, and then he had to face Cena. What really got Mysterio though would do the Cena senton to Cena. Cena went to throw him into the steps. He didn't get, and Mysterio missed. And Cena would clothesline him, and they even said that they could feel the impact. They wrestled in the ring a little bit. Mysterio went for the 619, and then I think Cena, and then he hit this. I think he hit this. No, Cena got the knee up. Oh, and by the way, Mysterio does the STFU to John Cena. I'm like, whoa, Cena's actually taking his own move because I'm surprised he even let people do that move to him. Then Mysterio got the knee. Then that happened, and then Mysterio got a Hurricanrana on John Cena. Then he went for the 619 again. Cena counted into the FU. And then Cena won the match. And became the new WWE champion. Shook hands with Rey. I thought Cena was going to turn heel. Didn't happen. Then we hear. I'm going to play the music for you. We hear the music. I'm going to play it for you. Just hold on 1 second. Just give me a second. Wee woo. Wee woo. Wee woo. What? Just give me a second. Give me a second. Just 1 second. We hear this music that's about to play. Hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Wait.
Hold on, it's an advertisement. Of course, these YouTube videos have advertising. Hold on. We hear this music. It's about to play. Hold on, I skipped the advertisement. We hear this music. CM Punk's music, and I thought this was a botch because he didn't know what was going on. I thought this was a technical difficulty, but then we see Punk come out with the WWE Championship that he had won at Money in the Bank. We see him that he had won just in that match. He comes out to the ring. They both hold the titles, and that's how Raw ends. And I was like, I was actually pretty proud of that. That was pretty much it really with the with that. I'm sorry it took so long for me to play that video. It's just something I had to do. Next match, or yeah, I think this might be a match. We have Ezekiel Jackson defending the Intercontinental Championship against Cody Rhodes. I have the same reaction for the Kofi Kingston and Wade Barrett match.
Oh, wait.
What?
You still have that 20? You want ice cream?
I don't have the 20 anymore.
Where is it?
We spent it when we went to Canopy Lake Park.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but I'm gonna the same reaction for the Wade Barrett Kofi Kingston match, but I understand why it was there. Because they wanted to show Cody Rhodes win the first singles championship, and he did. Beautiful disaster, crossroads, but the match, Ezekiel Jackson, I'm gonna say, was probably not one of my probably a shitty Intercontinental champion. I'm gonna say that right now. I did not like Ezekiel Jackson as Intercontinental champion. And I liked Cody Rhodes a lot better with it. He did a lot more with it. And it was good to give it to Cody Rhodes because Ezekiel Jackson is now a jobber. I'm gonna say that right now. He's a jobber now. And I know people that are Ezekiel Jackson fans are probably gonna be like, "He's my favorite wrestler." He is not a jobber. It's true. It's true. He's like he's probably worse. Okay, he's probably not as much as Yoshitatsu or JTG, but he's like that kind. He's a jobber. He's a jobber. I'm not gonna deny it. But that's really it. They would have put a paper bag that Ezekiel Jackson tagged Ted DiBiase Jr. because at the time he was heel. But he's a jobber, Ezekiel Jackson. So that's pretty much it. So let's get on with the next match. We have John Morrison versus R-Truth in a Falls Count Anywhere match. I'm gonna say this right now. This is after John Morrison had come back with a neck injury, and I think that neck injury probably was real because when he came back, he was not the same. He did not do the moves he used to when he used to, like in the Royal Rumble when he landed on his feet on the barricade. He did not do the moves that he did when he was doing the Falls Count Anywhere match with The Miz. He was just not the same at all. He was not the same. But this match was still good. But the ending was, I don't think the ending kind of sucked. Morrison would get thrown into the barricade, and he would do that flash kick thing that he does off the ropes, but it's off the barricade instead. Truth did like a knee of John Morrison into the barricade. Then they took it, and then Truth took the control, and they took it out in the crowd. Then John Morrison, Truth brings like this chair to the ring. Morrison like snaps when he sees this chair for some odd reason. Morrison gives him a suplex into a knee. 1, 2, 3. Morrison wins the match, and that's really it. That was actually the last, I think, John Morrison was in that DVD. There's nothing really left to say, and let's get on with the next match. We have David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy versus Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And I'm going to say the same reaction probably to the Ezekiel Jackson, Cody Rhodes, and the Kofi Kingston and Wade Barrett match. The match was probably, I think they put it on here just to show that Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne won the belts. Like, the match wasn't that good. I'm going to say that right now. And I have the same reaction to Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga as tag team champions as Ezekiel Jackson. They sucked. And Johnny Kamala puts it up too. He even says, "What have they done? They got to show me something." And they didn't show him anything. They talked about, and he even said, "We're talking about something completely different instead of this match." So at least they did the right thing, put the tag team belts in Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, because Kofi Kingston hit the Trouble in Paradise on, I think it was David Otunga, and Evan Bourne hit the Airborne on David Otunga, won the match, and then they won the match, and they did a lot more with those belts than anybody else ever has. And then Evan Bourne kind of fucked over the tag team division a little bit, but then after that, the tag team division kind of picked up a little bit. Thank you, I guess. And it's picking up now. I actually like to see the fresh air and tag team belts. I'd like to see all your titles lose, because last year they really did use their titles. Last year they used the WWE, great, awesome. They used the World Heavyweight. I'm going to say it was okay. I think there was some bumps on the road in between. They used the Intercontinental Championship. I think once when Cody Rhodes got it, it was used like a god. I'm going to say that. It was used great. In the United States, once Dolph Ziggler got a hold of that belt, it was used pretty good. And now the tag team, once Kofi Kingston and R2 got those belts last year, they used them like gods. Like, I think every belt was got appreciated last year. Now we have Randy Orton defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Christian in a steel cage match. This match was pretty good. What I like about their matches is when Randy Orton went for the scoop slam, Christian knew it was coming. That shows how well these guys know each other. Christian does spear. Orton goes for the RKO, and Christian's like still on the buckle. But then the match would end when Randy Orton gave an RKO to Christian off the turnbuckle and would pin Christian. So that match, exceptional. Mark Henry came out and attacked Randy Orton because he was the #1 contender, and gave him one of the strongest slams. And they really do put a lot of Mark Henry and Randy Orton stuff on this DVD. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm just gonna say that right now. The steel cage match is good. It does use the cage a lot. And then Mark Henry and Randy Orton, pretty good. So when we get the next match is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. This match is good too. Randy Orton works good, I think, with guys like this. For some odd reason, he doesn't work well with Sheamus. Well, no, with like the Sheamus, because they didn't work well together. He doesn't work well with the guy. Yeah, he works well with that. He works well for some odd reason. Cody Rhodes and Christian brought Randy Orton, and they put a lot of their matches on the DVD. They brought Randy Orton to his A game. I don't know why, but they did. I'm just saying that right now. Randy Orton, yeah, he got the beautiful disaster kick off the apron. Cody Rhodes would go at it, and I like that submission move Cody Rhodes does. He has like his, I wish he'd utilize this a little bit more. He has like his arm behind the back or something, on your legs, like behind your back, and then he's like holding your mouth like this. So I really enjoy that. Then we have, let me think. Oh, and then Cody Rhodes, and then Randy Orton does a comeback. Then Cody Rhodes goes for it, crossroads, can't go for it. Then he hits, and then Orton would hit the RKO eventually. and win the match. And then Mark Henry came out, attacked him again, and because in this match, Orton hurt his arm. He's like, I could have broken it, but that's not what I want. I want that. So yeah, great match and another great way. And Mark Henry looks strong in this feud because usually Randy Orton doesn't make guys look strong, but he made Mark Henry look strong in this feud. Not so. And last year he had a lot of feuds. He made Punk look not so strong. I think there were some flaws with that. Christian like a bitch. I'm gonna say that right now. Mark Henry probably made Mark Henry look the strongest out of all the feuds because he came out successful. I'm gonna say that right now. A little bit of a Cody Rhodes, a little bit. I think he got screwed over. At least I think Cody Rhodes didn't look as strong as he should have. And Wade Barrett looked strong. At the end, he got fucked over though. But we're gonna go up with the next match. Well, actually, this is actually the cutting edge with Randy Orton and Mark Henry. This is actually 2 days before the title match. Great way to build it up. So Edge asked Randy Orton. So they mentioned that there's no physical contact during the show, because it wasn't supposed to be in the matches between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Then they brought up the fact that Randy Orton. They brought up the fact that Randy Orton, every time there has been physical contact, Mark Henry's destroyed him. And Randy Orton says, yeah, but it's been after I had matches. But he can't beat me. But he's never won the big one. You've always come this close, but you never have won the big one. You're too soft or something. Yeah, he just pretty much trashes him, and then you always come this close, but the same thing's gonna happen. Then Mark Henry says he's right. He's right. I have not come close to winning the big one. I've seen men smaller than me. I've seen men faster than me win the belts. Maybe it was the injuries. Maybe, but I don't think he didn't think he was passionate enough. But he said, this year I'm focused. I will win the World Heavyweight Championship. Then they get into like a block. Then they have a face-off. He's like, no, gentlemen, this is a part of the show, and I'm supposed to remind you, because Edge says this. Oh, and he also mentioned the fact that this is where he won his first title, and this is where he wanted to be a wrestler and stuff. But he's like, this is a part of the show, and I'm supposed to remind you, there's no physical contact. Then he kind of clears his stuff as he's saying this, and he gets out of the window. He's like, but this is also the part of the show, and I'm supposed to announce that the cutting edge is officially over. So then Randy Orton and Mark Henry brawl. Taylor gets like a bunch of guys out there to break it up. Pretty much a bunch of jobbers. I'm going to say that right now. Then as they're brawling, Randy Orton fights everybody off. They still brawl. Randy Orton goes to get Mark Henry. And this is actually what surprised. Mark Henry from out of nowhere hits the world's strongest slam. Clears a bunch of guys. Splashes Orton. Clears more guys. I think he splashes Orton, world's strongest slam, and then he shows that he wants the title, and that was just great. I thought that was awesome because Mark Henry got a great push. I think Mark Henry probably got a big push last year. He was probably one of the biggest heels last year. Probably better than Christian. I'm gonna say not really so much Punk, but yeah, Mark Henry got a great push last year, and unfortunately, he's injured now, so who knows what kind of push he would have gotten. So let me see the next match. Actually, this one is Mark Henry is Unleashed. So this is the night after he wins the Mark Henry wins the World Heavyweight Championship, and JR is going to interview him, and he says that Mark Henry says, Hell in a Cell, no problem. I decimated Randy Orton before, I can do it again. And he says that Mark Henry says that he will also not only that tells JR to apologize because he didn't have faith that he could win the belt. And then he's like, I don't. And then he's like, I guess he doesn't think he means it or something. So he chokes him with this tie. Then Jerry can like, come on, you took you 15 years to get here. Don't do this. Don't do this. Then Mark Henry is like, if you won't let me do it, then you're gonna join him. Then Mark Henry attacks Jim Ross and gives him Jerry the King Lawler gives him the world's strongest slam, then does it through a table, and that was pretty much it. He walked out, nothing happened after that. Then we have Dolph Ziggler versus Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder in this match is being accompanied by Hugh Jackman. This match was good. It's a decent match. It was pretty... Zack Ryder did his comeback. Dolph Ziggler dominated a little bit. They both did double clothesline. Vicky gets up, slaps Zack Ryder, referee injects her. Hugh Jackman punches Dolph into a Rough Rider. Match was over. And then they celebrate. The thing that kind of disgusts me, though, is they are giving Hugh Jackman credit for the reason Zack Ryder got pushed, but Zack Ryder really pushed himself, and I'm not lying either. Zack Ryder pushed himself. And it's not a lie. Zack Ryder pushed himself. I'm going to keep on saying it. Zack Ryder pushed himself. 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 He went on YouTube, and if he didn't go on YouTube and make his own YouTube videos, like I am doing kind of right now, he probably would not be here today. He probably would be somewhere in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or Ring of Honor again, or maybe Top Rope Promotions. He'd be somewhere around there. But you know what? Zack Ryder got pushed, and then he would win the United States Championship. It's great. Yeah. Now we go on to the next match. Mark Henry defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Christian in a Lumberjack match. Shit. That's all I have to say. Shit. I will say it was good, though, when Mark Henry threw Trent Beretta for a bunch of those Lumberjacks. But, shit. Okay? Mark Henry won with the world's strongest slam, because Sheamus threw him in the win. Randy Orton came out, punch, drop kick. That was about it. But shit. Absolute shit. Never gonna want to see that shit again. Not gonna watch the fucking shit. So fuck that. Fuck that match. And fuck. Yeah, just fuck that match. That's pretty much it. So that was shit. Next match. CM Punk versus Alberto Del Rio. This match was pretty good. I don't really remember it that much, but I remember Punk wins with a kick. Kind of weak. Then a solo was down, and Mikado's trying to get away from Cena. But then Punk ended up giving him a go to sleep. Cena gives him the FU. Del Rio comes in with a chair and just pretty much lays them both out with it. That was pretty much all that I remember. I don't remember the actual match, but I remember. But the match, I remember the match was okay though. I don't remember the actual match, but that's pretty much it. Now this is disc 4. I'm almost done with this. Then I can move on and do another one. We have John. So to start off this disc with, and as this disc is by the way going on, Josh Matthews, I should mention, is introducing each disc before everything happens. Then so now we have John Cena, CM Punk, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, and Mason Ryan versus Alberto Del Rio, Christian, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and David Otunga. This match was very good. I'm gonna say that. I expected it to be one of those clustered tag team matches when it was like nothing really big happens, but everyone got their shot, and it actually took some time. They actually got some time. That's all I really have to say, though. Like the match was that match surprised me for what it was. Everyone got. I'm gonna say everyone but David Otunga got the shining moments because he didn't really get any. At the end, Sheamus would pin Dolph Ziggler with the blow kick, and then that's it. So that's pretty much it for that match. Let's get on with the next match, because I don't really have any, vote of no confidence. They don't actually show it, they show like a video clip of it, and that's fine, because they probably would not have had the time to put it on the DVD. I think Chris is on the way. So yeah, they just pretty much vote Triple H no confidence.
Hi, baby.
Hi, Chris.
You're not baby, that's baby. You're Owen.
Well, I'm just saying hi, Chris.
Hi, Owen. How are you today?
Good. I'm making a video, so you gotta kind of be quiet.
Okay, I'll run out and have a cigarette after.
Oh. But yeah, Triple H, they just vote Triple H no confidence because Christian doesn't think it's safe. The referees are getting attacked too much. The Divas, remember why the Divas say it wasn't safe. I didn't really pay attention to that because it doesn't really show why. But Jerry the King Lawler walks out, so I guess for some odd reason they all follow Jerry the King Lawler for some odd reason because he's like a big leader or something. Why do they follow Jerry? So then they all leave except Triple H, and then Laurinaitis comes out, nods his head no, but I think he's probably, they never really tell you who was the reason that Triple H got fired. They just want you to believe it's John Laurinaitis, but it might not have been John Laurinaitis. It could have been somebody else behind the scenes, maybe Kevin Nash, maybe Punk, because they didn't like each other. Maybe Miz or Truth, because they thought this was the conspiracies. There's just so many people that could have done it. They just assume it's Laurinaitis, but it might not be Laurinaitis. Then we have John. Actually, I'm not really gonna announce the name. So Triple H comes out and he kind of does the whining and complaining like it's too. They're all. This actually made it scripted. Because they all are complaining that it's too hard, that they get too hurt when Triple H was in charge, and they're not going to come back to Raw unless he resigns as COO. But then he says that they're out there with their ring gear in a bag waiting, and why would you wait out there if you walked out, you left Raw? If you left Raw, why would you be out there waiting in there? Why not just... Like, if I was out there, I'm not just going to waste my time out there, I just go in. So then Cena comes out, and he was thinking about, because a bunch of them texted him if they were going to join, if he was going to join the walkout, and he pretty much just goes through all his bosses. He's had Eric Bischoff, a bunch of guest hosts, and I don't have that many fingers to do that guest host, but I'm just going to use one. Vince, remember... Well, he had Vince actually at one point, but not, then he had, of course, him, then he had somebody else, Vicky, and then he had Mike Adamle, and he always trashes the Mike Adamle GM position. He's like, that was a terrible, I did not get through that. Oh, and the computer, I forgot the computer. I gotta say, the Mike Adamle was worse than the computer, though. So then he says that he's staying. Sheamus comes out. And he says that he's gonna stay because he likes to fight. And Sheamus also pretty much mentions when Triple H, when he ambushed Triple H with the pipe, and he says that he kicked his ass all over the ring, but Triple H did, but really Sheamus did, because I saw that match. Then Punk comes out, and he pretty much says that he walked out just to look cool because he was making a statement. So CM Punk really kind of started the whole walkout thing. And CM Punk actually kind of started the whole Triple H thing, now that you mention, because of his promos. CM Punk started pretty much all this that we're seeing. Well, not all that we're seeing now, but most of it. Then he says he's going to stay, and then Triple H says that since nobody's here, he'll make a match between John Cena and Sheamus, and Triple H is going to be the ref because he's dressed for it. And he makes Punk do commentary, and Punk asks if he can wear his blazer, and he says you can even wear my blazer. And then he asks him to do double duty and win the bell. So I assume Punk got paid extra for this in storyline, if you have to think that, because he did commentary, and I remember he did wrestle that night, and he rang the bell. And then though in the match, the Vince comes out and pretty much tells them that everyone's worried that there's going to be no WrestleMania, they're going to go WWE's going to go bankrupt, and then everyone would have to watch TNA, and at that point in time you wouldn't want to watch TNA. Then oh yeah, no WrestleMania, no, WWE's gonna go bankrupt. There was something else he said. There was probably a bunch of bad things would have happened if Triple H didn't get put in charge. So they pretty much relieve. So he pretty much just does the same thing that Triple H did when he became in power. But this time, John Laurinaitis, for some odd reason, gets the job. So then, how can they fire Triple H too? He's the COO. He's the son-in-law. How can they fire Vince? Unless the board of directors is Stephanie McMahon. But how can Stephanie McMahon fire Vince? If they told us who the board of directors were, how can they fire these people? It doesn't make any sense. I had this explained to me by my dad's girlfriend Chris, that the board of directors can put you out of power, not if you are. But Vince McMahon was related to the person who created it. So could they put they put Vince McMahon's father out of business as well? Is that what you're saying? Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Brandon, you
pretty much it. Okay.
You okay, Brandon? Yeah. Okay.
Then we have Sin Cara versus Sin Cara in a mask versus mask match. Loser had to unmask. This match was okay for what it was. You could totally tell who the real one was because the real one was in blue, and the real one botched a lot. But they didn't have a bad match. Sin Cara ended up winning by submission by putting like a armbar in him, and the black one tapped out. That's really it. Then they take off his mask, but the match was. I remember watching it. The match was much longer. And then we have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight. This match was actually probably also good. We had what?
House is in the house.
Huh?
My house is in the house.
Okay.
And my toys are in my woman's house.
Alright.
It's in my house.
Anyways, this match was probably another good match. It actually really was a street fight now that you think about it, except it wasn't on the streets, but it was actually a street fight. There was no weapon. There was only one weapon used. But Cody Rhodes really shined in this match, and so did Randy Orton. Rhodes would throw Orton into the apron. They would blow on the crowd. They went up on the stage. Orton suplexed him up there. Then eventually, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton went to go to Cody Rhodes. Cody would hit Randy Orton with the face mask. Then he would dominate the match a little bit. Then Rhodes has the thinking forelock in. Then Randy Orton goes to get out of it, but Randy Orton just takes Cody Rhodes takes his face mask off and hits Randy Orton with it. And then Orton does come back eventually, does his comeback move, and then Cody Rhodes escapes, and then he goes to. Then Randy Orton does the DDT off the barricade where the wind bell is, and then RKO 1, 2, 3, and the match was over. Then what happened after that? Randy Orton hits him with the face mask, then puts a big back over Cody Rhodes' head. Then he went on mask eventually. Then we have Mark Henry versus Daniel Bryan. This match was not good at all. This match wasn't. I'm just gonna say that Mark Henry won by DQ because Big Show came out and get a knockout punch because Mark Henry was dominating. So that's kind of a stupid reason. Then Bryan would go to cash in Money in the Bank. Mark Henry did a World's Strongest Slam. Hit Mark Henry over hit Big Show over the head with the briefcase. World's Strongest Slam, cuts out. That match wasn't good at all. Then we have Punk versus Ziggler, champion versus champion. This match was good. This match was good. We have Punk doing the knees and the bulldog. Got Ziggler doing, he like throws Punk over his head. Eventually, Punk would hit the go to sleep and win the match. But the match wasn't that bad though. But that's pretty much it for this DVD review. It's just, I think this DVD, I think the flaws in this DVD though is it doesn't have anything on December. Actually, because everything happens January. No December. Nothing December. Nothing at all. Nobody. Yeah, there's no December stuff. They didn't put the Rock Cena when they set up the match at Mania. They didn't really put the stuff in there that should have been in here. But the stuff they did put in here was exceptional. They should have put in more, I think, but they did. For some odd reason, I don't think they put in enough stuff because maybe they had run out of time. But this DVD is 10 hours, and I think this DVD is worth your time. And this DVD is probably a good pick. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this DVD as the Stone Cold. The next DVD review, I don't know when that really will be coming up, but it will be up a lot very soon, and then
That makes Bye people, bye YouTube.
anyways, but then there will be, but then but the DVD review probably won't either will be on the CM Brothers or this channel, because I might do this with Adam, because it's gonna be, I just spoil it for you, the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels rivalry DVD, because he really likes that rivalry, so why not just sit down and watch it. But that's pretty much it, guys. Peace out.